Welcome back to part 17 of our 150-part IPRG masterclass right here on Decode Healthcare with Harshal. Honestly, I'm absolutely thrilled you're here today because we are laying the groundwork for mastering the ICD-10 PCS structure. Now, I know, if you've ever felt a bit intimidated by this specific coding system, just take a deep breath. By the end of this explainer, you're going to see the beautiful, logical matrix behind it all. But hey, real quick before we jump in, if you are enjoying this lesson, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and share it with friends for this free course on Decode Healthcare with Harshal. All right, so just a super quick recap of part 16. Last time out, we successfully navigated the nuanced rules for inpatient, newborn, and perinatal coding. We locked down the specific guidelines for birth status Z38 and mapped it all seamlessly into MDC15. You guys did fantastic work with that. So for today's agenda, we've got 1. What is ICD-10 PCS? 2. The 7-character structure. 3. Character value rules. And 4. An overview of the 17 sections. Okay. Section 1. What is ICD-10 PCS? Building inpatient procedure codes. Let's get right into it. So ICD-10 PCS stands for the International Classification of Diseases 10th Revision Procedure Coding System. We've been using this in the US since October 2015, and it really just has one very specific critical job. It's used exclusively to report procedures, services, and treatments for hospital inpatients in the United States. Basically, while diagnosis codes tell us why the patient is in the hospital, PCS tells us exactly what the facility did to treat them during that stay. Now, here's the biggest philosophical shift you're going to need to make as a coder. Unlike outpatient CPT coding, where you're kind of like a shopper picking pre-built codes from a huge list, in ICD-10 PCS, you are a builder. You literally construct specific, highly detailed codes from tables based purely on the clinical documentation. It's like a giant puzzle. You're essentially translating an operative report into a 7-character alphanumeric story. Moving on to Section 2, the 7-character structure, which we like to call the universal blueprint. Let's check it out. Take a look at this mandatory 7-character box format. This right here is the universal blueprint for literally every single PCS code you're ever going to create. Each of these 7-character positions acts as what we call an axis of classification. All that really means is that every single position holds a very specific piece of the puzzle regarding the procedure that was performed. Let's break those boxes down, specifically for the massive medical and surgical section, because that's where you'll spend most of your time. Position 1 tells us the section of the book. Position 2 tells us the body system. Position 3 is the root operation. That's the absolute objective of the procedure, like an excision or a bypass. Position 4 is the specific body part. Position 5 is the approach, meaning how the surgeon actually reached the site, like open or percutaneous. Position 6 identifies any device left behind. And finally, Position 7 is a qualifier for any extra specific details. Once you internalize this flow, building these codes becomes incredibly logical. All right, Section 3, Character Value Rules, the rules of engagement. Let's look at the guardrails here. The absolute, non-negotiable, foundational rule is this. Every single valid code you construct must contain exactly 7 characters. No more, no less. If you've only got 6 characters, nope, totally invalid code. Oh, and you'll notice there are absolutely no decimal points used in PCS. None. Just 7 distinct alphanumeric characters right in a row. Now, to fill those 7 slots, you've got exactly 34 possible alphanumeric values available for each character position. You're going to be utilizing the numbers 0 through 9 and the letters A through Z. This setup is actually brilliant because it gives the system massive flexibility to expand and add new technologies without having to restructure the whole shebang. But, and this is a big but, you must remember this critical exception. It's actually a total favorite on certification exams, by the way. The letters O and I are never used in ICD-10 PCS. Why? Well, simply to prevent any dangerous visual confusion with the numbers 0 and 1. I mean, when patient billing, DRG assignment, and quality reporting are all on the line, we absolutely cannot afford a typo just because an O looked like a 0. Make sense? Which brings us to Section 4, Overview of the 17 sections. Mapping the coding landscape. Let's zoom out a bit. So this table lays out the 17 distinct code set sections, all defined by your very first character. That first character instantly tells anyone looking at the code exactly what broad category of procedure was performed. They range from the numbers 0 to 9, then they jump to the letters B through H, and finally end with X for new technology. So for instance, if you see a code starting with a 1, you instantly know, boom, it's an obstetrics procedure. A B means imaging, like an X-ray, and a 3 means administration, like a blood transfusion. I do want to specifically highlight Section 0 for a second, the medical and surgical section. This is by far the largest section of the entire code set. It is where you are going to spend the vast majority of your time as a clinical inpatient coder. Every code here starts with a 0, and to master this section, you're going to need to learn the definitions of 31 distinct root operations, ranging from alteration all the way to transplantation. But don't worry, we'll be covering all 31 of those in deep detail in our upcoming classes. So you now understand the blueprint, you know the structural rules, and you've seen the 17 sections. You've got the foundation. The only question left is, are you ready to jump into the tables and build your very first 7-character code with me in Part 18? I am telling you, once you build your first one, you are going to be hooked. It's so satisfying. As always, if you are enjoying this lesson, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel and share it with friends for this free course on Decode Healthcare with Harshal. I'll see you in the next masterclass where we actually start building.